Hi guys, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center, in Wareham, Massachusetts. And I realized that I did not actually do a reading on the impeachment process. So I want to just do sort of how this is going to go, see what's going on with this. I feel like he will definitely be impeached because of this, but what else is going to happen? So let's see. This is a reading on the impeachment of Donald Trump. Okay. I'm using the Arcanum deck today. Lovely, lovely pictures. Okay, I'll do a Celtic cross and see where we go from there. Okay, and so we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is, the wheel is turning. This is destined. Yeah. So this is, this change. This would indicate that he's going to be in a different position than he is now. So let's see what's crossing that fated change. We have the Victory card. All right. See what's at the root of this. Justice. Okay, that makes sense. See what's in the past. The Eight of Cups. In the sky. The Five of Wands. The immediate future. The Knight of Swords. Okay. How this is seen from the outside. Seven of Wands. Domestic situation. The Ace of Swords. Hopes and fears. The Six of Cups. And the outcome. The Seven of Cups. And we'll continue to see if we get a major arcana, the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Wands, the Nine of Swords. Okay, let's see what's underneath it. The Fool. Okay, so there's definitely the energy of change. The Wheel of Fortune is, some days you're on top and the next day you're on the bottom. It's the cyclical nature of things. He has risen to power, and now it is time for him to fall. That's what that says to me. What challenges it is the Victory card, and that's an interesting card. The Six of Wands as a challenge to the Wheel of Fortune. As a challenge to the Wheel of Fortune. Let's just continue on and see if that comes up, because I'm not understanding that necessarily yet. And of course, at the root of it is justice. So this is something that had to be done. This is a balancing of the scales. This was a sort of a bridge too far, and so justice had to come in to the process. The Eight of Cups in the past. I think this is the Mueller investigation. So much was put on. So much was sort of thought to be, this was going to be the thing, this was going to, so much emphasis was put on the Mueller investigation and Russian interference that I think it took away from the real problems that he was creating. And perhaps the real reasons that he should have been out, um, or this should have happened sooner. So I think that, and so there was after all that effort and all that emotional expense, um, we had to turn our back on that, and that I think was a grave disappointment for many people. And so I think that perhaps this victory card as the crossing card is the doubt that we all hold, even though everything should be or would normally be, and there's nothing about anything that's normal anymore, but that would make sense to happen. We question it because up to this point, he's been continuously victorious. Now, of course, he's been continuously victorious because the Republicans have um, have held him up, and they've decided that there is nothing that he can do at this point, anyway, that isn't that is what is it, above reproach, beyond reproach? I don't know. So they're just going along with it. Um, but in the sky is the Five of Wands, and the Five of Wands deals with fighting, and this sort of tug of war. So the united front that was the Republican Party, I feel the energy is that it's going to start to fray, and there's going to be a lot of so now there's repositioning for power. There's repositioning for power. The immediate future is the Knight of Swords, and I see this as Trump. The Knight of Swords is generally somebody who comes in with a sword, flailing his sword, and not really thinking about the consequences of what he's doing. So I think that he is, I guess, like a bull in a china shop. But there's nothing holding him back. And what it's going to do is it's going to cause a lot of pain for a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people that come down because of this, some deservingly and perhaps some undeservingly. And he certainly hurt enough people up to this point, not just hurting migrants and children and and the people that a lot of his policy decisions are directly affecting, but also psychically. He's psychically wounded us. Or he's brought up the wounds, which is probably more accurate, but wounds that need to be attended to. And so they can no longer sort of be stuffed down into the past. It's really about, in a way, our past actions coming up um, for us to face and to fix and to work with. But I feel as though he's really sort of losing his. He had no scruples to start with, but he's fighting for his life, and so he's going to take anybody down that he feels he needs to take down, and even a few people that he doesn't, just for the hell of it, right? How it's seen from the outside, he's up against it, but people do feel like there is a certain thought out there that he's still going to get away with things, still going to have the ability to get away with stuff. And I can't say that I don't feel that to be true myself. Domestically, we have the Ace of Swords, so justice. So it's a full-fledged impeachment process. Hopes and fears, we have the Six of Cups. I think that this is a fear that the past is going to repeat itself, hence the Mueller investigation, perhaps. Um, this could be a hope that we get back to our heart as Americans and our sensitivity and our kindness, because we're not really this. I mean, there's a part of us that's awful, but it's not the whole story of us, and we have to reclaim that. And we also, as a cancer country, have to realize that we have to start taking care of the children. It's unbelievable that we're a cancer country. The way we treat women and children in this country is abhorrent, and that has to change. The outcome, we have the Seven of Cups, and so the Seven of Cups is generally the outcome is not clear yet. We're not seeing the outcome. There's too much obfuscation. There's too many smoke screens being thrown up. And of course, this is Trump's MO anyway. And so to actually know um, the outcome of this is, I think it's too soon, according to these cards. And then if we look at the three cards I chose as cards to look for a major arcana, not coming up with one, is we have the Nine of Wands, which is more sort of standing up for what we believe is right, what is true. This card is associated with Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about the truth and the willingness to fight for the truth. So there's that. So there's a will of, I think, of the people to find the truth. We have the Eight of Wands, and this is more information is going to be coming. And then we have the Nine of Wands, which is anxiety. And so while more and more stuff comes up, I think, and we see just how rotten this apple is to its core, it's going to create a lot of anxiety in people because it brings instability into the energy. Which, I mean, we're already unstable, so there's just all this instability. Raising the levels of anxiety, and then underneath it all is the Fool. And so, really, this is an opportunity for us to take a leap of faith and to do things in a totally different way, in a new way, and so ultimately, this is going to put us on a new path. It's going to put us on a new path as a country. It's going to probably put us on a new path as far as the powers that the president has. I think that a lot of, in a strange sort of way, the president has become this untouchable figurehead, even in somebody who, as abhorrent as Trump. He's still there, and what protects him is the fact that he's president. It's not, that's it. I mean, at this point, that's all that's protecting him. And we're going to see as as the people around him start to fall away and are held responsible, there's going to be him there. And what are we going to do with that? And how is that going to change? So this is definitely something that needs to be done. It's definitely something that there's no guarantees here, except that it's guaranteed, I think, that it must happen. And how it comes out and how it ends up happening will have a lot to do with how we interact with the energy. And so it's important to know that truth and justice will prevail. It's at the root of the reading. But we do have to be aware that he is going to just increase his MO, and we're going to have to take away the idea that this guy that he's the president. It's like it's not about the president now. It's about a person who's fighting for their life, and this guy is willing to do anything to win, do anything and that's something that we need to see. We need to see him as a person, not as a president. Now, I know there are a lot of people that see him as a person. I know there's a lot of people that see him as almost more than a person in a way, in a negative way. But yeah, so this is a lesson for us to really test our sense of justice, really test our sense of balance through this process. Okay, so I feel as though he will be impeached, definitely. But will he get out of office? Will the Republicans, at this point, can we see if the Republicans will actually agree to kick him out of office? Will that happen? Will he leave office before his reign of terror is over? His, well, will leave office before his reign of terror is up. And that would be the 4 years of his presidency, right? I'm surprised he got this far. Yeah, I thought he'd be out in 2 years, frankly. But now it's beyond that, so let's see. Has it been 2 years yet? 2 full years? Yeah. 2.5 years now? Okay. All right. Will he be taken out of office? We have the Two of Pentacles, trying to find balance. The Ace of Cups. The Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups. The Emperor in the past. The King of Swords in the sky. The Page of Cups in the future. The Sun, how it's seen, domestic situation. The Page of Swords. Hopes and fears, Eight of Pentacles. Outcome, Queen of Cups. Ten of Pentacles. Knight of Cups. Death. And underneath it all, Temperance, healing. As it stands, looking at these cards right now, we have the Emperor in the past here. So it does look like he will actually be pushed out of office. Or I've always sort of felt like he's going to be held at, I guess, at sword point, right? And be told, get out of here. Have it be as if it's your decision. And if you get out of here, you won't be held responsible for all of the crimes that you've committed as president. Now, that's not to say that his past crimes and all his that stuff won't come up and affect his Trump family and all of that. But I feel like he's leaving before his time. It's possible with the death card there that he leaves that way. It may be too much for him physically. I mean, this is a lot of stress. This is high stakes stuff. I see that there are people around him that are going to start talking. Spies, people, saving their own skin, perhaps. There's a lot of young people here. I think there's some information about young people that's disturbing that may come up through this process. I think that, yeah, I think he's out. All right, that's what I see. We'll see. Things can change. Things can always change. This is a guess. This is a guess using my intuition, and with most things. Ultimately, though, under all of it is a healing and a balance for us to find. So there is a light at the end of this very, very dark tunnel. There is a rebirth at the end of this very, very dark tunnel, and I'll be here, hopefully, the best I can be, we're here for each other. Let's not forget that. I think ultimately, that justice card at the bottom of the reading on the impeachment is a call for us to get to come together. United we stand, divided we fall. And I don't necessarily mean against Trump. I'm talking about enemies, domestic and foreign. We need to have a cohesive sense of those things that matter to us. And what matters to us is that we can breathe the air, we have food, food, shelter, the essential needs, and those are going to change. The things that we feel we absolutely can't do without are going to change. We're going to realize that we can probably live with a lot less, as long as we have a good relationship with the planet and the other people that inhabit this world. Um, we don't have the corner on knowing all the answers. We don't have the corner on living the best life. There are a lot of things about the way we live in this country that are actually um, antithetical to life. So, all right, have yourself a great day. Like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. Um, I'll see you soon. Bye.